So, this woman goes into a supermarket. She's at Kroger, right? And, she's used as public assistant. She has her SNAP card, because there's no more stamps anymore. There's the card, right? And do you know, for those of you who have used, food stamps in the past, there's some things that you can buy and some things you can't. We've discussed this on the show before. And so when she gets up to the register, the cashier says she owes $10 in cash. So the woman is confused. She's like, I know everything in my cart is covered, under food stamps. So can you check again or whatever? The cashier refuses, says she's done things right. They call over the manager.
The cashier says she owes $10.
Sorry, continue.
They call over the manager. It ends up, she was right. But then the manager says to her, just give it to her. He said, and she's like, well, I told you it was covered by food stamps. The manager says to her, Elon, excuse me for working for a living and not relying on food stamps.
I'm sorry, what?
And by that time, a line had built up, behind her. And so there were people in the line and customers sort of watching. And she's like, she just looked and, realized that all attention was on her after this manager had said this to her and just bust into tears.
I can't imagine what you just said actually happened. You're telling, so this dude just decided to, I'm trying to understand it. So this dude just decided that he was going to insult this woman. So she was actually right. She was right. It wasn't that she had done anything wrong. She used her card the way it's supposed to be used. Mm-hmm. She points it out because you're trying to take cash because the fact is, if you're using this and you're on this program, it's implied, if you will, that you might actually need this help. Mm-hmm. And $10 of your own cash might not work out that way. And so you're telling me at that point, the manager of this store insults this woman?
Yes. Tells her, excuse me for working for a living and not relying on food stamps.
I can't. I'm gonna flat out say I can't even imagine that, Eldred. Okay, this is something, when I was younger, my family was on food stamps for a little while. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that you kind of know. You kind of know that when it comes to food stamps, it was never a proud moment to be able to go to the store and buy something. And my mom would send me to the supermarket, the Big R in my neighborhood, mm-hmm. or something, and I would go in there with food stamps. I remember trying to use the food stamps on the sly. I would try to slip it under, when I was going to pay, I'd try to put a bag in front of my hand so that I could put food stamp down so people behind me wouldn't see it. And the idea that someone would say something like that is so heartless, so inappropriate, so rude, so classist, so ignorant that my brain doesn't even accept that statement that you just said, Eljoy. I can't, it hurts my soul that actually happened.
Yeah. And so Kroger then, the larger company or whatever, apologized to her, cause she posted a note on, their Facebook page. So Kroger apologized to her and told her that, the manager was transferred to another store. But then they offered her a $15 gift card.
I'm sorry. Is that?
As the apology.
So you actively insult me. You don't fire the person who overstepped his boundaries by far, and then you give me $15 and I'm supposed to be cool?
Yep. I was like, who comes up with random $15 increments in the first place as a company?
The same company that thinks that their employee in the way was right. It's just bad for PR. It just comes off as if they agreed with the employee. They just can't say it, so they had to.
I can't imagine.
That was an extra offense to me. $15, really?
I'm so.
But let's go a little further in terms of who this woman is. And I think this is indicative of we have this view of people that are on public assistance, that they're lazy and shiftless, like Mitt Romney, that they sit around and they collect benefits from the government. They don't work. They don't contribute to society or any of that thing, right? So she's married. Her husband has a business. He has a carpeting business, but ebbs and flows, right, with any business. And she herself can't work right now. She had kidney failure in 2008, and so she's waiting on a transplant. So she can't work. So she's on Social Security income, like the SSI I was talking about.
So on top of all of this, these are actually these aren't even the people, the quote unquote shiftless folks that are supposedly not working. These are people who actually do work, do have jobs. On top of it, even though, like, by the way, I am not co-signing that ridiculous notion that just because you're on there, that just because you don't, you might not be working at the moment, somehow you're shiftless. But so this, and their idea here was to give them $15. That was the fix for this. Here's $15. Sorry about that. Wow, Eljoy, I can't even tell you my current feelings on that. Yeah, that'd be like, and immediately when I first heard about this, my thought was, can they sue? Can she sue about this? And I understand that that's weird.
Yeah.
And I understand, and we're way super litigious as a society in general. But I feel as if there needs to be more than just simply, our bad, here's $15. You can't do that.
That's, it's on the company to come down. Like, if I ran a store and one of my employees said that, he would be fired immediately.
Yeah.
I tell him, you just give me your apron, you can go. But, like I said, it's different companies. It's the only way the hammer's gonna come down. It has to come down from Kroger Grocery itself.
Yeah, it was completely ridiculous. But the story goes on and talks a little bit more about, obviously, because the 47% thing is still in the news, right? They ask her about her political views. But she talks about, that people have the view that people are just lazy. And she says, I've seen some comments from people talking about how they hate standing in line with somebody who's got food stamps because they've got 2 carts full of food. She's like, did you not realize maybe this person is not able to get to the grocery store but once a month? Maybe you have kids. Kids eat a lot of food. Lots of food. That's why they have express lanes. You want to be in a line with people,
none of that matters.
A whole bunch of food.
I don't even
get
understand.
An express lane.
What kind of assumption is that? People at the grocery store have varying amounts of groceries. It is a grocery store. You were just picking on someone on food stamps.
That is the point of a grocery store.
Anyone can have anywhere from 2 items to 47 items. It is a grocery store.
To 470 items.
Yeah.
Like, grocery store. People go to the store to buy groceries.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's the worst thing, is that they just assign, now they said the people with the most groceries are the people getting the government handouts. That's a wild leap. Okay, that's great.